Hello everybody, welcome back to another vlog. Um, Last time you saw me, it was quite a long time ago, and I just had gotten done with Unity Essentials. So yeah, let's take a look at what that looked like, I guess. So yeah, last time you saw me, I'd completed Unity Essentials. I got done with my massive project at the end with the cars and the stuff, of which you can play on the Unity web store. You check that out in that last Unity Essentials vlog I did. But um, let's go. Let me show you what I've been doing now. This like past few months. Oop. So I'm now in junior programming, uh, and I'm almost already done with the player control thing. Uh, I've started the course. I already had a few of these done, but yeah, I've done the first few lessons like start your engines, pedal metal, high speed chase, some driver seat, and then I did this challenge lesson of which has its own video. Which will release later today at 6 p.m. I believe. So check that out. Oh wait, no, challenge playing programming. That's in this video. Bonus features one, show your work. That's gonna be its own video, coming out later today. Um, and then I just have to get done with these lab one project side document, introduction to project management, teamwork, and then take the quiz. And overall, yeah. So almost done with the first level in junior programmer. It's pretty cool. Um, so let's check out uh these. Let's check out these tasks. So first one, start your 3D engines. The first task I checked off was very simplistic. It's just like they had me install a bunch of these files, these challenge one starter files, and then I just threw them into my repository. And then from here, once it was all said and done, it booted up in Unity. They just wanted me to go into here, into the course library, take some vehicles, and they wanted to just basically for me just to drag out a vehicle. So I chose the bus. And then they also introduced me to the obstacles, so they wanted me to drag out an obstacle. I chose the rock, and basically just mean that. And then from here, they showed me a script. They had me create a very simplistic script called Player Controller. So we'll just get into here quickly. Alright. Okay. And basically, what the script does is it uses transform.translate vector 3 forward to it basically just pushes the car forward. I guess like by like a speed of 20. I forgot the exact units Unity you actually uses, so I'm not sure if it's like going 20 meters per second or like what it's doing, but like the exact measurements. But I can tell you this. So transform.translate, it's basically telling the object to move, and then vector 3 is basically it's referring to like all things, I guess, 3D, I guess. So when you say vector 3 dot forward, it's gonna vector 3 dot forward. It's gonna move the 3D object forward. So you have the transform dot translate to like move and stuff. Vector 3 dot forward to tell the 3D object to move forward, and then you have time delta time because some computers run at higher frame rates than others, and so you don't want your game to be like, I guess, like run super different across different systems. So you have time delta time to basically make sure it follows the in-game time, so it's the same. And then you have our speed of which how fast it moves, and that's just 20. Not exactly sure the measurements again, but ultimately the final product looks like something like this. So gonna go forward in a second. Alright. Hold on. Give me a second. Alright, there we go. And as you can see, the cars are just going forward until the end of time. And then they drop. Oh, they don't even drop because they don't gravity or rich body, I mean. So that's this. So yeah, that's the this first lesson here. It's basically just introducing you to the mechanics and stuff. And so, let's move on to the next commit. All right. So from here, we have a high-speed chase. So let's check this out. And boot up Unity. I'll see you in a moment. Sorry, disregard what I said about that being high-speed chase. We're actually in Pedal to the Metal. I made a mistake here and called it high-speed chase because I wasn't thinking, and I tried to fix it, but I wasn't able to. So I just said, disregard that 1.3 before. Anyways, we got it up. So, in this lesson, now we've got like a line of obstacles here. They have a rigid body, and it's to make it somewhat accurate to what their weight would be. And I assume this big rock here would probably be like 1,000 pounds or something. We also got the vehicle, which also is rigid body. I made it just 10,000 pounds for a bus. And I'm not sure. And oh wait, yeah. You can also see here, we have a camera that is kind of orbiting our bus here, I guess you could say. So, like, you know, like it's like a player camera, right? Oopsies. I'm not sure. Our script hasn't changed at all. It's still the same. So when we run play, what we'll see is the bus is gonna go forward. It's gonna hit these rocks, and then it's basically like just throwing them out the way until it hits the end. But yeah, now basically we have collisions, and we have the start of a camera here. The way I got this camera here is, well, it's pretty simple. I just took the main camera, or placed down a camera in the scene, and just positioned it to the to where this like little black view here. Pretty simple. And then for the objects, I would just take one, duplicate it, and then maybe just like push it back like that. So yeah, that's basically just how you do the scene. For rigid body, I've seen this made in Essentials before. It's pretty simple. You just type in rigid body, and you can add one to it. There's already a component on it, so it's all good. And then you just change the mass for the value. Pretty simple stuff already. So let's move on from this. Alright, and so we're going from 1.2 to now the actual 1.3. So high-speed chase. So let's hop into it. I'll see you in a moment. And we're loading in here. So, come look at it. Looks very similar. Honestly, just the overall layout is probably the exact same. And I'm pretty sure player controller. Well, there's actually there's a few differences with player controller. And we also see that there is now something called the follow player script right here. So let's go let's get the follow player script too. So we got player controller and follow player. So now, in player controller, just to start off with the simple change, instead of it just being 20, it's now speed, which is a variable. It's a float. The way we did that is I made a public float and I set it to 5.0. 5.0. I did this, I made it a float because, honestly, I'm not super sure they told me to make a float. I mean, technically you get more controller floats, so that's kind of why. And so I just put an F there to make sure that the computer knows this is a float when I guess, like, initialize this or whatever. From here, it's the same code, except now speed is replacing the 20, and the computer knows that speed there just means 5.0 float. And so what's going to happen is basically it's going to move forward at 5.0. However, it is a public thing, so that means on the vehicle, I can actually change it. It doesn't actually have to be 5.0, since it's public. I can make it like whatever I want. So I can edit it in the inspector because it's public. And so right now it's 50. Then let's check out this new script, follow player. So follow player is directly connected to this camera here. As you can see, it has the follow player script, and the player is this vehicle here. And the way this works is you have basically, so you get the variable player, game object player. So basically, what this is going to look for is this. It's looking for you to insert an object that is going to take the place of player here, and I put the vehicle in there. And then I've made something called private vector 3. So it's I guess like a vector 3 again, like representation of 3D space. Offset is equal to new vector 3. And so basically what this means is the offset, well actually in order to explain that I need to explain this other code here. So remember, this script is going on the camera, and the camera is trying to follow the player. So what we have here is we have transformed up position, so this is going to change the camera's position, and it's going to change it to the player's position, player.transform position, which gets the player's position, so basically sets the camera's position equal to the player's position. This is done in update, which is called once per frame, so it's constantly doing this. This is also late update, and late update, it's the same as update, but I think it's like a little bit before. So basically, it only calls it like when everything is already good. You want to use late update for camera following type things. Anyways, though, however, we just player.transform.position. What's going to happen is our camera will actually just be inside of the bus. So we want to fix that. And the way we do that is we add an offset to this. That is what this variable is. That is what this is. That's what this plus offset is referring to. So to explain again, vector 3 offset, so vector 3 for 3D space and 3D objects and stuff, basically all things 3D. It's whenever you move stuff in 3D stuff, you typically use vector 3. So offset, so the name variable, is equal to new vector 3. So it's equal to a, I guess like almost like a new space, or like, I guess setting it to something else, or like adding to its current thing. But basically, what this new vector 3 is it's where the camera is right now. So so instead of it being at 0.18, 0.8, it sets its position to 0, 6, and then -15. So that's what this new vector 3 is. It's setting its position to a new space. And so from here, and it's constantly doing this, and so when I run this, you'll see that the camera will follow the bus. And as you can see right here, it's going really fast because I set it to 50, and the camera was following the bus. And so, yeah, that's basically this entire commit. And let's move on to the next one. All right, so, oh god, what's happening here? Discard. Give me 1 second. Okay, fix that mess, whatever it was. So now we are in, I don't know why this is being weird there. Okay, there we go, it's gone. So now we've gone from high-speed chase to step into the driver's seat. So let's check out this commit. Let's see what this is all about. So, I'll see you in a moment. And we got these loading up here. Alright, cool. Alright, so now we have stepped in the driver's seat. So overall, looks pretty similar. Let's see, check out the camera. So the camera's all the same. What's gonna happen here though is most likely, yeah, our player controller is now different. Alright, so let's check this out. Oh, give me a second. And it's gonna boot up. Oh. Alright, cool. So you can see we got some new things here. We have speed, rotate speed, horizontal input, vertical input. Then we have this stuff where it's getting the player input in here. And then we have some new stuff. So now it's just not pushing it forward by speed. Now it's pushing it forward by speed and the vertical input, and rotate speed and horizontal input. So to first understand this, we're just gonna run the game. So let's see what's gonna happen. I think, maybe nothing. Okay, we run the game. You can see the bus is actually twisting and turning. I can turn it all the way around. And if I press W and S, I can push it forward. I can also push it forward with the arrow keys and push it back. W and S push it forward and backward. And then D and A make it rotate from left to right. Same with the arrow keys. And so now I basically have control over how the bus moves. And so let's understand that now, I guess. Okay, so basically the way I did this is we had to look at our project settings. So in the project settings, there's something called Input Manager, and in here you can see we have something called horizontal and vertical. These are basically like, I guess, like where you can configure controls to use the Unity Engine Input API. So basically, this is where you can put in different things to, I guess, configure it with like Unity's input system. This is where you like get your stuff for in a game. When you press W, you actually like move forward. So what we have here is that's what it's doing. It's horizontal input is equal to input.getAxis horizontal, and the horizontal it's referring to is this horizontal here, which basically tells you its negative button is left, its positive button is right. So when you press left or right, it starts at 0, and when you press like A, which is to the left, it's gonna go to -1. When you press right, which is 1, it's gonna go. If you press D, which is right, it's gonna go to 1, which is like positive. So when you're moving on an axis, like the x-axis, basically you're pressing A, you're gonna go into the negatives, or aka left, or when you press D, you're gonna go into positives, aka right. And so you can see that here. So, it's also the same thing with vertical. So it's instead of here though, it's down, up, and S and W. So, yeah. So I guess like if I were to do this myself, first things first, you gotta get the speed, which is 15. You gotta get the rotate speed, which is for this we put 45 is good. At first these were all publics, but once I figured out what I actually wanted, and I didn't want to accidentally mess them up in the inspector, I made them privates so I can no longer edit them in the inspector. And so from here, we gotta get the player input first before we can do anything. So we set this float horizontal input equal to input.getAxis. So remember, it's getting these axes, and then we chose the horizontal one. And this is also a string, by the way, meaning the computer is interpreting it literally. It's interpreting the word as literally as it can. It's looking for the exact word here. And then it finds the exact word. It finds horizontal right here. And then it's going to basically like go with everything that's in horizontal. So, like, I guess like if there was like a 1 at the end of this, and then you put like a horizontal 1, then it would use like the horizontal 1, I guess. Same thing with vertical. It's a string in vertical input equal input.getAxis, so it looks for the vertical axis in here, finds it, then it's gonna do everything with that. Then we can move the vehicle forward based on the player input. So same thing, translate. So we're gonna move it vector 3 forward, moving it forward and backwards. Vector 3 forward is basically the y-axis on the object. You could use vector 3 backward even. You would just have to like, I guess, like reverse some stuff. Because all this is really it's just an axis. Yeah. Then we have time delta time, and then we have speed. Time delta time to make sure it's following time, speed for the speed of how fast we're moving, and then vertical input. So basically, it knows like when we press a key, whether to move forward or backwards based on if vertical input is -1 or 1. And also it knows like when we're like pressing a key to move it. And it's basically the same thing. The only reason it's vector 3 up is because I noticed when I was rotating it, it would move across its y-axis. You'll see, as you can see right here, this was 0, now it's negative 94. I put it back to 0, then it goes back here. And so vector 3 up is across the y-axis, so basically the same thing. It's going across the rotate speed, and it's doing this for horizontal output. Also, I realize no, never mind. Alright, we're good. Anyway, so yeah, that's this that's this commit here. Basically, just getting the player controls down, making it so press W, go forward, D and A, left, right, and then you can press S to go backwards. And so yeah, that's this commit. And so let's move on to the next one. So now, after this, begin to a more complicated one, plane programming. And so let's boot it up, and we're getting into it. So you see, nothing's changed yet. That's because we are in the, I guess per se, like, same thing. Also, sorry, what I said about the Challenge 1 files going in there, that is not true. Challenge 1 is plain programming. That's this. What was there before is actually we just put in a ROS repository just like a random file just called prototype 1, and that's what we've been. Oh wait, no, I guess I don't know. Wait, actually, I think I'm mistaken. I think we did put like, I think I imported something from the website for all of that, all those cards and stuff. But Challenge 1 I know is like, it's a new scene and stuff with a plane. But so yeah, let's head over to it. Let's go into the Challenge 1 scene. Boom. You can see there's a plane here. And so I guess this won't be a super like good showing in a sense, because the way this works was the plane, they gave you a scene that had a ton of issues with it, and you had to solve it. I've solved all of the issues. You'll see, I'm just going to run it real quickly, that when I play this, that everything's going to work fine. It's kind of like Flappy Bird, but with a plane, and I am able to just easily navigate all this. And so, yeah, looks pretty normal. But it wasn't before. So, I guess let me try and walk you through what I did here. So here we have another follow player script, and we also have another player controller script here. And so what was happening before with the plane is basically it would like just go like in a circle, and also you couldn't really control it. It was and the camera wouldn't follow very well. And so here's what I did. So for player controller, I only wanted to get the in order to make me able to control the plane, I needed to of course do the vertical input stuff. So I made a vertical input float, and I needed to get the user's vertical input. So let me just fix that really quickly. Fix that comment because you're only getting the vertical input, because you're not getting the horizontal input because the plane does not move left to right. So like you're not controlling how fast it's moving. Like the plane is always in motion. Okay. So yeah, you get the vertical input to basically make it go up and down, and then from here it's very similar to the car. However, here since we're not controlling how fast it goes forward and back, it's always going forward. It's going to be going forward at constant speed. The speed being 15. However, we can control the up and down when the plane tilts up and down. So that's why we have the vertical input here, and then it goes up and down at a speed of 100. So you can tilt the plane up and down really quickly. And so yeah, so I fixed that there. The issue here was there was no vertical input before, and I think the plane was just going way too fast, and you could hardly see it, and it would just go up and down the circle. Let's look follow player. So, before the camera would not follow the plane. So the way I made it follow the plane is first we gotta get the game object plane. Again, very similar to the car. And then I needed to put the camera at a position. So, I set it to the plane's position. Then I needed to find a good offset for it. So it was inside the plane, and I was like, okay, I need to get a good offset, so I started backing up, tried to find like a good position I liked, and eventually I settled on here. I liked this position a lot, and so from here, um, I think. Oh, actually, no. I'd back up. I placed it on a camera, and I would move it. I move it into the plane, and then I would back it up, or to basically find like a good position I liked, and then once I found that position, I set it. I set the camera to that position. So that's why it's very specific with these floats here. So I made the offset that position, and so then plus offset, and then that's basically just how you get this finished product. You basically make it not go as fast. You add a way to control its vertical stuff, and you make sure the camera actually follows it, and it follows it at a good offset that you can see the game, and it looks good. So yeah, that is the challenge. So it wasn't too challenging. I fixed all the issues relatively easily. So let's get into more of a challenge. I'm all right in a sense. All right. So technically now the vlog is done. In a sense, because this commit here, bonus features one, share your work. I've already made a separate vlog for, coming out later today, and so however, I will be going over it, so you can just see it, I guess. Hold on, what the heck? Where is it? There, that is. Oh, and then let me just like fix this real quickly. Okay, so let's check out this. Now, this thing was much more difficult than the other stuff I was doing. So, yeah. Anyways, Unity's booting up. I'll see you when I'm in there. Okay, we're in the wrong scene, however, because we actually go back to the original scene. So, where is this? Hold on, crap. Shoot. Okay, I'm trying to find the original scene. Prototype 1. There we go. Okay, so you can see here, this looks like a lot. It actually looks like a complete game. You can see we have these two screens here, split screen. Again, I go over all this much more in depth though in the standalone video. But split screen here, we have these obstacles here, an obstacle here, and a green van there, multiple cars coming at you, tanks, buses. Yeah, so we're just gonna like run this, and I'll just show you what's gonna happen. So look down this bottom here. So we got our buses. I think I'm controlling these independently. One with the arrow keys. Oh, I lost a bus, and then one with W keys. The idea being here, you can race your friend locally, and you don't want to fall off the map and get hit by these oncoming cars and stuff. Oh, yep, the other of the bus just like went flying, and oh, the tanks have stopped me. All right, so I'm more so it's because of again the stand-alone vlog on this. I'm going to I guess kind of go over what I did, go over what I did, but not go super in depth with it. So what I did is I made this script called Drive, and Drive applies to. Actually, wait, no, hold on. Okay, wait, no. Let me go in order. Actually, so the first thing I did was I made an obstacle course. So we start with this rocks, then we start with this brigade of boxes here. Then we have those inland boxes here, these diagonal boxes here, as I call them, all around. And then I made all these boxes, and then that was the obstacles there. From here, I made some oncoming vehicles. And to make them move forward, I made the script called Drive, which is very similar to the script we had before at the start, which just pushed our bus forward. All this does is it makes a float called Drive Speed. Drive Speed is public, so I can edit it individually to each of these vehicles. And then from here, it just pushes the car forward at the drive speed. So these vehicles are going forward. This one, the tank's going over by 5, this one's going over by 10, 15, 10, by varying speeds. So that was the oncoming vehicles. from here, after the incoming vehicles, I forgot to show you this when I played it, but what I also added is a view change. As you can see, the one on my right there is currently in a view, and then the one on my left there is now also in a different view. And then you can also change it to go back into third person and back in first person. So yeah, after getting all that down, I also created a view changer. And so the way I did that is we go into the follow player script. Oh, actually, um, is I basically, again, going over this very briefly, made two different offsets. Made a boolean to check if you're in first person or not. At the start, you're not in first person, so it's gonna be false. Basically made a method that would reverse whatever is first person is. So if the boolean is first person is false, it's going to become true. If it's true, it's going to be false. Then there's this little simple script where it does stuff depending on if it's false or true. So if it's false, you're going to be in third person offset. If it's true, you're going to be first person offset, and then the camera's also going to rotate with you. From here, after I did that, it asked of me split screen. And split screen was a little complicated to do. It was kind of hard. But I did it. So basically what I did is I went to project settings. And before we just had horizontal and vertical, I made horizontal 1, horizontal 2, vertical 1, vertical 2. And the reason I did this is because in the player controller scripts, I added something called input ID. And you'll see where that goes. So you can put an ID here, which is either going to be 1 or 2. It's public. So for one bus, it has an input ID of 1. For the other bus, it has an input ID of 2. Then from here, when one of the buses presses W or the arrow keys, because horizontal 1 has left and right, and then horizontal 2. Horizontal 1 has A and D, and then horizontal 2 has left and right arrow keys. So basically, it checks like when you press W or the arrow keys, it checks like I guess like your input ID to add on this, and then it moves the corresponding bus. So I go more in depth in this before, but I guess I'll go into it right now. Basically, this bus here, player 2 has an input ID of 2, and player 1 has an input ID of 1. What happens is basically when I press W for input ID 1, I think, or I don't know, it's going to take that. Okay. So it starts with horizontal, then it does plus input ID. The input ID in this scenario is 1. So now it's horizontal 1. Like it's literally typed out as horizontal 1. Like in the axis, in the axes I showed, because remember it's interpreting the script, I guess, as literally interpreting the words because it's a string as literally as it can. So it's looking for exactly horizontal 1. It finds horizontal 1 and it knows that's just A and D. So the bus with the input ID of 1, when you press A and D, it's gonna move it. And then it's same for the bus with horizontal with the input ID of 2, it's gonna move that when you press the arrow keys or whatever. That's how that works. And then from here, it's basically just like same stuff, but yeah, the only thing special there is the input ID. From here, though, now I need to get the split screen effect to make sure it looked like this. Since now I had the both player 1 and 2 controls down. The way I did that is I made 2 different cameras, one for player 1 and one for player 2. And in the follow player script, so you have your offset is first person and stuff. However, now we have something called the switch. The switch key. It's no longer just press space button. There's 2 different switch keys, and then we also have the player game logic started it. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure the only thing actually added was the switched key, to be honest. I think everything else was fine. I didn't need anything else. Um, Surprisingly enough, I don't know. It just worked out that way. It worked out pretty well. I guess simply, uh, I actually I can tell you why, but yeah. Um, so basically, on both these buses, on player one, player two's camera, the main thing that's different is it's following player two, and its switch key is space. Player one, it follows player one, and its switch key is left shift. Uh, the reason I didn't have to actually change anything really is both these cameras are at the same Y and Z. The only thing that is different between the two buses is the X's, and because in the script both X's are at 0, all I had to do is just move one bus over, and that X is now going to become the camera's X, because it's following player transform position. It's only changing its Y's, and then that's how you get this. That's how you get them like following each other. The way you get this side by side thing is basically you go in here. You change the width of the, I guess, camera. So you want to have space for both, so you make it a half. It's a little finicky, like for some reason this one's 1, but you want to push it more right to the screen, so you make this one 0.5. It's going to push it more right to the screen. You can't see it if it's like that. And then you push this to 1. I think I don't. It takes up more space, I thought, if it push it to 1. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was right. If you also push it to 0.5, it's even. But if you push it to 1, I think it's taking slightly more space than the other one here. So, yeah. And again, going into all this in more depth, the standalone video of this, but yeah, that's what I did in this scene here, in this commit here. So yeah, let's move on from all this. So, don't save, leave. Okay, cool. All right, so, oh wait, let's go into my GitHub, and so I'll show you these commits. Oops. We are in player control, and so yeah, we can see all the commits here. You got start your engines, high speed chase, metal. Discard that the 1.3 before. The real high speed chase. Got everything I was working on here, and yeah. So, all right. Let's ensue our outro. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap up player control. All of this stuff here is pretty quick. I'm gonna take the quiz and get this done, and I'll be moving on to basic gameplay, and I'll be getting that done next week. I don't think it's too hard, honestly. I think a lot of what I did in Unity Essentials, I can also do in junior programming, but because of that really advanced scene at the end, I feel like I'm almost kind of ahead. Yeah, but overall, junior program is pretty enjoyable. I'm also learning a lot about scripting and stuff from it. It's pretty sweet, and yeah. So overall, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog, if you watch, that is. Bye.